Okay, so it is now 2 after, and we're going to get started with our program. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining us today, and welcome to Gale Business Entrepreneurship. I'm Emily Raymond, and I'm one of the librarians here at the Plano Public Library.
And I'm Caitlin Tips, and I am a public services librarian with Plano Public Library as well.
And today we will be presenting this program. We will both be monitoring the chat for any questions. Before we begin, we need to let you know about some ground rules that we have set up for today's program. You will be muted during this class, and we will have your video blocked. You will only see the instructor's screen. At the top of your screen, you can find an exit button with an exit full screen option if you need to get to other things on your computer. You're welcome to ask questions or request that the instructor repeat information at any time during today's program. You should see an icon at the bottom of your screen that says chat. Click on that button to open the chat window and enter your question or information. The chat is only seen by library staff. If you prefer, you can also use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. Please note that any inappropriate questions or comments will cause your immediate removal from today's class. For all questions, we may answer them directly through the chat or Q&A box. We may also hold your question until a break or the end of the class, or answer the question at the time if it is pressing. We will be using the instructor's screen for demonstration and may share additional resources in the chat as well. A recording of today's program will be available in a few days. So if you'd like to watch today's program and practice with the recording later, that is an option. Now, with these ground rules out of the way, let's get started.
So today we will be providing a detailed overview of the Gale Business Entrepreneurship Database, including database features and a demonstration. This database is available to all Plano Public Library cardholders for free through the library's TextShare database subscription. If you are not a Plano Public Library cardholder, please check with your local library to learn more about database availability and access.
Before we start, we need to mention a few disclaimers. First, the instructors, Caitlin and myself, are not business experts. We are librarians. The purpose of today is to provide general information about library resources, and specifically an overview of the Gale Business Entrepreneurship Database. For business expertise, please connect with a Dallas SCORE mentor. Mentors are available each week at the Schimmelpfennig Library for a free consultation. For more information or to register for a consultation with a Dallas SCORE mentor, please visit planolibrary.org.
All right, so now that we have that shared and out of the way, what is Gale Entrepreneurship? Gale Business Entrepreneurship is a comprehensive database covering all aspects of starting, financing, and managing a small business, including accounting, finance and taxes, human resources, management, marketing, and more. In this database, you will find hundreds of sample business plans, how-to guides, articles from small business journals, and more. The database is organized into 4 feature categories: start, plan, fund, and manage. We will now discuss each of these categories more in depth. The first feature is plan. The plan feature is focused on business plan research and other information to help get your business started. Topics in the category include budgeting, business ideas, business plans, market research, and marketing. This is a really important part of starting your business or really just growing any facet of your business. Having a business plan is essential for many aspects of looking to get funding, and more. And it's useful to use this resource for figuring out what does that even look like, or what do you need in your business plan. The Start feature is focused more on information related to different business types and structures within the United States. So topics here include trending small businesses, so things that are very current, as well as information for entrepreneurs, information for home-based businesses, franchises, different business certifications available, different types of business structures, legal entities, and networking information, networking advice, networking tips, or different venues for networking.
The next feature of the Gale Entrepreneurship Database is Fund. The Fund feature is focused on exploring different types of funding sources for your small business. Topics in this category include angel investors, venture capital, government funding options, loans and grants, self-funding, traditional lending sources such as banks, and untraditional lending sources. Now, this is a very important feature for all business owners and entrepreneurs. It is for business owners and entrepreneurs at all stages of their business. So those just starting out, those considering a business, as well as those already in business and looking for funding. The final feature of the database is Manage. The Manage feature is focused on helping business owners and entrepreneurs to maintain and grow their small businesses once they are up and running. Topics in this category include financing, expanding your business. So if you wanted to open additional storefronts or franchise, business management, including how to manage employees, expenses, etc., selling strategies, as well as business technology.
All right. Now that we've gone over some of these basic features, we're going to actually go to the database. So bear with me one moment while I share my screen. Let's see here.
And as Caitlin is getting her screen up, please remember that at any time you are welcome to ask your questions either in the Q&A feature or chat feature.
All right. So this is the Gale Business Entrepreneurship page. Before we get into our research examples, I wanted to quickly go over how to access this page. So if you go to our library webpage, planolibrary.org. So this is our main website. You can scroll down and see a list of different available resources, but the easiest way is going to be if you go to, well, one moment, the Zoom bar is getting in my way. Okay. If you go to library and you go to learn, you will then select research and learn. This page on our website takes you to an entire list of all databases provided with your library card. If you don't want to view everything, which is fair, you can select the business tab from this list. This will pull up all business-related databases, and it should be organized alphabetically. So we're going to scroll down, and you'll see right here, Entrepreneurship, Gale Business. And if you click Access Now, if you're accessing this from home, you should get this sign-in page for please sign in with your library ID, and that is that 14-digit library card number that you have. So that is how you have how you access this. If there are any questions about that, please let us know, and we are happy to help you out.
And just one, while Caitlin's getting signed in here, one quick reminder that if you are accessing any of the databases provided by the Plano Public Library, including the Gale Business Entrepreneurship Database, from one of the 5 library locations, you do not need to log into the database. You will automatically be taken there. All right,
Okay.
looks like we are up and running.
Yes, sorry, I've got fat fingers today. Now that I can type, let's work through some different examples. So we had this screenshotted in our presentation, but this is the main homepage of Gale Entrepreneurship. And if you scroll down, here's where you can see those 4 main topics. You're welcome to click on any topics within these kind of subcategories and see what pops up just to learn more. At the bottom, it also does have a link to Gale Legal Forms, which is another great Gale resource where you can download free legal forms for your business or personal use. So starting with the plan feature, we're going to look at looking up some business plan examples. So when you're starting your business, if you're trying to get funding for your business, you're going to need information for your business plan. The great thing about Gale Entrepreneurship is it provides you descriptions over what each of these terms are. So if you're starting from scratch and you really don't have any experience with this at all, it does make an effort to make this very accessible. So it provides this sort of encyclopedic overview at the top of the page for each topic. If you want more information, you can select read more, and it takes you to a longer article and includes more information on the contents. And of course, it's a database, so it provides citations as well and links to other similar resources. However, we want to find a more specific business plan for us to view, so we're just going to go ahead and click previous page. And you should see that search bar at the top. That's just for a completely new search. If you scroll down on this page, you'll see that it has business plans, over 1,000 different kinds, different resources, videos, directories, magazines and journals, and more. But below that, you can actually search within these results. So we've already selected business plans, but from within these results, I want something for an example for maybe a bakery or a different kind of business. All right, so I'm going to search for bakery business plan. Oh, sometimes this happens too. Sometimes it's like, wait, what did you do? And that's okay. We're going to quickly go back, and I'm going to take out business plan.
And every search that you do with any of our databases is always trial and error. So just because search results don't come up the first time you try it, don't give up. Just keep trying again and find what you need.
This was all planned. So we searched for a bakery business plan, and you can see as I scroll down that there are a few results here. You could be more specific if you have a specific company you are looking to model your idea after. You can see if their business plan has been uploaded. But this right here looks like we've got Golden Grains Bakery Incorporated. It looks like we've got Carla's Crazy Eats. Let's take a look at this first one. And you'll see it lists where it gets that resource from, the Business Plans Handbook. And it also lets you know the document type, the topic overview, and the length, and what date it was created. So this is a fairly recent resource. It was from this past year. So if we scroll down, this is the web view. you'll see all elements that they have for their business plan. So they have their executive summary, they have their industry analysis, different headings breaking this up, market analysis, target markets, market breakdown. Oh, and they have graphs. That's lovely to see. So your business plan is really where you're breaking down your competitive analysis in your space within this area for your business, where you are saying there is business opportunity for me here, and this is how I plan to make money, right? You're outlining every aspect of your business so others can look at that and see, oh, they've got a really great plan. The way they're pricing, where they're located, all of this can really help someone else look at your business and say, yes, I want to invest in this. It's also useful for you as a business owner to really just outline every aspect of your business and use that information to help you just figure out what are your next steps, right? It does not have to be as detailed as this. It does not have to be structured the same way as this. This one is over 2,000 words, so it's probably quite a few pages. But it's fun to go through and look at and think, oh, I didn't think about including that in my business plan. So this is the first one that we found. Does anyone have a request for a business plan we look up?
If so, please put that in the chat box and I will relay it to Caitlin.
All right, so we're going to go back to that homepage, and rather than clicking on the topic this time, we're going to search for a business plan in that main search bar. And this time we're going to look up, even though it's after lunch, I'm stuck on food, we're going to look for pizza. Parlor business plan. And let's see what comes up. So we've got magazine and journal results, but that's not really including business plans, right? I think it's because I have included business plan in the search term. So you can see there's a couple different spellings as well. If we simplify it, so sometimes simple searches work even better in a database like this to pull the most results, because now you can see here at the top, I have business plans to look at. I have other news resources to look at that I can pull from. So looking at business plans, and again, scrolling down, I'm looking, oh, there we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. A pizza business, Wood Flame Artisan Pizza Incorporated. It's a restaurant. There we go. And you can see it has some common themes with the last business plan we looked at. Had that overview, that industry analysis. It has a breakdown of their products and operations.
And I will make one quick note. So if you notice when there was the search and we started typing in pizza parlor, there were two different types of spellings. If something like that comes up and you want to search both of those at the same time, you can use what's called a wildcard, where you spell out part of the word and then put an asterisk at the end part so that it includes searches for both of those. So if you do pizza,
and PR and
PR,
a wildcard,
yep,
which is, are you using the $sign or the asterisk?
the asterisks I usually use,
Okay.
but sometimes they will work for both. Yes. So if you do that, it will search for spellings up to that plus any other spellings that come after that. So it's a great way to expand your search if you don't want to do two separate searches for the different spellings.
Because your spelling can impact your search results, as we just saw.
Yes, and we did have a request for business plans for laundromats.
Ah, nice. Andro. Aha. Be
And
great if I could type.
it's okay because like all of us, spelling is difficult sometimes, and the database is smarter than we are. So it will
It
help out
is,
with those
thank
spelling
goodness.
errors.
So here again, we've got at least 10 business plans here at the top. And it's not perfect, but oh, here's one for a self-service laundry business, wash and go. So we'll select that. And the nice thing about these business plans is, let's say you find um, one that you like, but you don't have time to go through and read it right away. That is okay. You can send it to yourself. If you have a Google Drive, you can send it there, or a OneDrive, or you can email it to yourself, which is really nice. You can also download a copy for offline view, and it is a PDF. So it should look similar to what you see online, but it's all there. It's also nice because you can see how many pages that business plan ended up being. This one is 6. All right. Does allow you to print. It does allow you to copy a link. And if you want to make any highlights or notes on the page, Gale Business Entrepreneurship does allow you to do that as well.
Please do keep in mind, though, that anytime you exit a session, your information and data has been deleted from the database. So if you make edits and notes, highlights to any of these business plans, if you don't send that to yourself or save it, once you exit the database and go back, that information is gone because your privacy is very important.
Mhm. And the nice thing about this is when you do a search, um, even if you forget to send it to yourself, normally, as long as you remember some of these search terms, it's pretty easy to recreate that search and get back to where you want to be. It's also nice to look at this related subjects area so that you can look up other terms related to your business. We typed in laundromats, and here we have self-service laundries or clothes dryers, laundry in general. And we can see what results come for that. So there's quite a few options within this database for business plans. Now, are there any other questions about looking up business plans, or are we okay if I move on to looking up some budget information? All right. Not hearing or seeing
Okay,
anything. So
I see we're ready to move on to the next subject.
perfect. Love to hear it. So we're going to go back to the main page again because I want to show what is here under plan for budgeting. Again, it has that nice encyclopedic overview at the top. Um, I also will highlight on this page, you can see your search history. So as Emily mentioned, this is only for your current session, but you can click that and see all the different searches that you've just plugged in. Go back. So budgeting. Um, Within budgeting, it's still going to show business plans. It's still going to show recommended resources, and you can narrow that down with other qualifiers and things to make that more specific. If you're doing franchising, you can look up budgeting for franchises. If you're doing something more specific, like you're an ophthalmologist and you want to look up budgeting for that, I'm sure there's information you can find. Um, or if you're just looking for more government budgeting information or just uh, general information, you can start with topics that they have right here. So I like to show this page because if you're very new to budgeting, this has great information to start off with. But we want some more specifics, right? So let's go back to pizza budget. What is it going to say? Oh, so here they're talking more about marketing and budgets based on that. So it looks like my search was too general. And you can also find news related to that as well. All right.
And if anyone has any topics that they would like to search within budgeting, please do let me know in the chat.
And we are happy to curate this more for you. If you're just looking for budgeting tools. Again, this pulls up quite a bit of different search options. So budgeting just brings you to this page. Tools, adding that to the end, does allow you to see other resources. And again, I'm a big fan of not having to reinvent the wheel every single time. So if you can look at what other companies are doing or how they're creating budgeting within their organization, and you can find that information on business plans and more, it can help you in terms of having an outline almost to follow, with the caveat that what works for one organization may not work for you. Okay, moving on to market research. So why is market research important, and how does that fit within Gale Entrepreneurship? So market research is different from marketing where you're promoting your business. Market research is where you are trying to examine your full industry information. So again, we've got that encyclopedic blurb at the top. You can see a few keywords in there that are target market, competition, and your industry. And if you know something called a SWOT analysis, looking at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, all of that is a part of your market research. Just within this general topic, it's pulling up business plans that have elements of this market research included in their business plans. It's got that overview of recommended resources to learn more general information for market research. It has directories for if you are looking to outsource your market research, as well as just articles and magazines and journals. I will say market research is essential when you're creating a business plan, when you're looking to start your business, because it does really give you a clear picture view of where you are in your industry and how you're fitting within that to create something either unique or something that you do exceptionally well to carve your own profit margin within that industry. So you want to be able to look up things and figure out who is your competition or what is currently being said about your industry. We have another database that does market research really, really well for your local area or more generically nationwide, and that one is called Reference Solutions. So within Gale Entrepreneurship, what you can research with market research can be more general industry information and looking at the different business plans and looking at different news articles about your industry in general. So if you're doing laundry, if you're doing laundromats, for instance, just doing a general search and looking at more than just your business plans even, but the recommended resources. So this is laundry adjacent. We kept this to be a pretty broad search, but you can see information that's adjacent or more specific to industries. This is business consultants directory. So I'm not sure, looks like they provide laundry. Let's go to this page and look through it. This just provides some basic location information. So if you were looking for others in the same industry you're looking at, maybe they would provide a model to follow. You could look at their website, see if they offer comparable services, what their pricing is. It's a way to make use of that. That's part of market research. Okay. News is also interesting because you can find out any current issues that are being talked about. Okay. So this isn't, I would say for market research, definitely check out Reference Solutions. This gives you more of a resource to look at how people are sharing their industry information within their business plans. But it's not going to be that in-depth research that you do yourself. So for instance, this one here, their industry analysis, that is the market research that they completed at the time to create their business plan. You can totally, if you're within that same industry, use their information and see, does that match your current needs? Or, oh, this is the type of information I'm looking for, and use that in conjunction with this other database to research that more. Okay. All right, so we've really explored that planning segment, and there's totally more that you can do. I highly recommend that the best way to get very comfortable with this database is just plugging things in and doing a bunch of searches to figure out what works for your business needs and what is bringing results and what isn't. Now, this start section is great for just looking up some current popular businesses, researching more certifications, as well as networking information, as I mentioned earlier. So we're going to start with looking up some more information about certifications. And this is this minority, veteran, women-owned businesses section. And again, same structure, but it's not necessarily giving us all the information we're looking for. It's got some great information for women-owned businesses generally on this page. It's got some news articles. And this one was published recently in April. So if you are a woman looking to own a business, this might be an interesting read to research more of challenges or things that they're experiencing. But let's say we're looking for a certification and we want specifically more certifications for women-owned business. Okay, searching that, you can again see it follows the same format each time for results. So you can pull up the business plans, you can pull up resources, and right now I can see that the first one mentions the SBA. That is great because the SBA does have the Women's Business Council, the Women's Business Center as part of their organization. So this provides a great amount of information just from a general standpoint of wanting more information about that. It's a little short. Let's see here. And grants, funding is always a good thing to learn more about. And it's current. That's the other nice thing about this database is it's very current.
And we did have one question come up that I
Mhm.
would like to share with the audience. So the question came up whether or not these are curated resources or if they can be broadened. So these resources in here are specific to businesses operating in the United States. So if your business is outside the United States or you plan to be international, you may not find resources specific to your business, but you may find something you can still use.
Mhm.
And you can also tailor the searches and narrow them down to specific areas you're looking to operate in. So we're in Texas, you can limit your search to businesses operating specifically in Texas. And all of these business plans that are listed in here are real life businesses. None of them are made up. They are all real people who created these business plans and they gave the Gale database access to those plans to share with you.
Mhm.
So thank you for doing the search, Caitlin.
Ah, you're welcome. No, thank you for sharing the information. Um, Emily is absolutely correct. All of these are real businesses. So if you were curious about big names, you could definitely research IKEA. You could look up a whole bunch of different real businesses and see if they have their plans or information uploaded to this database. Um, this database is updated fairly recent, fairly current, I would say. I
Yes,
think
it's
it's
based,
more than quarterly.
I want to say it's at least quarterly.
It's at least quarterly, if not
And
more.
yes, and all of the database is based, the business plans, at least in the database, are based on um, the Gale Business Plans Handbook, which is an electronic and print book that you can purchase for many, many dollars. So all of the business plans that are published in that handbook, which is published yearly, are accessible in this database.
And of course, you can always pull up that resource directly and search within for um, for whatever industry you're looking for.
All right,
Okay.
and we did have a question come up related to searching for specific requirements
Okay.
for businesses. So if you can see if there are special permits or licenses needed
Mhm.
for a business, if that's something that you can find out through this database.
Sure thing. I do think it helps when you know what you're looking for. So if it's something very specific to your business, um, it's helpful to be specific in your search query for that. If we search in general permits, you can see it's going to pull very generic responses for many different types of businesses that may require permits. If you're looking for just general, it's going to include, again, a lot of what not to do and what to do. Um, Again, we're not business professionals. Um, the limited knowledge I have for permits is to do with building or location. So if you're planning on being a brick and mortar location, understanding planning permits and things like that. Let's adjust this to planning permits, for instance. This is going to pull more from, let's see here. knowing your legal do's and don'ts. Let's see. This one doesn't have an article breakdown. So this is for home-based businesses, but it does look like it's going to have a breakdown of permits at some point in this very long article. Licensing and permits, there we go. So I chose a very generic, very entry-level article. So it does look like you can find that general information for licensing and permits. If you are looking for something specific, so I see zoning permits, building permits, those different types. I would say if you can make your search specific to those needs. Let's see here. So if you're looking for zoning permits, it's going to bring up business plans that had to get that permit. So a bed and breakfast needed that. So your best bet may be to do your industry search and then add in, see if we can make this work. Bakery and permit.
And keep in mind, this is
Yes,
one resource. So there are many other resources out there specific to permits, as well as business experts in those fields, as well as legal experts who can share more information on that with you.
exactly. This is just one method if you're looking to compare and contrast and see what else is out there. So what I just did is within this business plan, I tried to find a bakery that had to get some permits. And it looks like here, at least very generically, they listed that they had to obtain business licenses, they had to obtain a health department permit. And there's probably more examples that you could find. But again, it's great to know your industry information and do your research to see, oh, I didn't think of that permit or this license or this need. And then, as Emily said, jump to a different resource to learn more. So this is just one more tool in your arsenal to get started with your entrepreneurship, with your business, everything. So I've covered some of the needs with planning and starting within this database, and I'm going to hand it over to Emily to demonstrate more of the fund and manage sections.
Yes. So bear with us. We're going to swap screens. All right.
And again, please continue to pose any questions in the chat or Q&A or something that you want us to demonstrate in this database. We're happy to use your needs to help showcase what you can do in this database.
Yes. So going down, we have two more categories for topics. We have fund and manage. So fund, if we click, if we just hover over the box, first of all, fund is intended for giving you information about the many different funding options you have available to you as a business owner and entrepreneur. So if we click on one of these topics here, we will start with traditional lending sources, since that is where most of us tend to go with our mindset. We can see information related to traditional lending sources. If we click on the read more, we can see what this section is referring to as traditional lending sources. So you'll see loans is listed as a traditional source. There's short-term loans, long-term loans, credit card, and other types. So this is a great section for if you're interested in doing a traditional loan to fund your business, and it can be at any stage. So those starting up as well as those who already have an existing business, you can see what those actually mean and which one may be a better option for you. Now, if we go back to the previous page, you'll see, like many of the other resources we've looked at, we can see different business plans that are related to traditional funding sources. So if we click in here, we can see the Red Baron Bread and Breakfast. We can see information, their statement of purpose, summary, and if we scroll down, usually there's a funding section somewhere in here.
Some of these,
Right, so
some of
them
these
are very
business
long
plans are
and very
very long.
detailed, which is great because the more detailed your business plan is and solid it is, the stronger case you may have for what you're using it for. So, all right, so they are talking about their different finances down here. Maybe I should just, if you Control F on your desktop, that will bring up a search bar and you can go through. So it helped I was searching the right thing. All right. So let's see, they're talking about funds, cash funds. Let's try a loan and see. All right, so there we go. It's just not, see, and we're learning through the same experience. So they are talking about taking out a traditional 25-year loan of $525,000 at a 9.25, oh my goodness, interest rate to fund this venture over the next 3 years. So you can see kind of how they've laid it out in their year 1, 2, 3. This is, again, an example of what one business did to detail their plans for how they're going to fund their business. This does not mean that you have to do it exactly the same way. It's just to give you an idea. So if we go back here, if you click on the return to results, it will always take you back to this page. And we can scroll down here and see some other resources available related to funding in a traditional manner. So you'll see over in recommended resources, those are kind of like your reference resources. So they give you more information about these different topics. So you can see here, one of the options is how to build business credit. So if we click on that, the article in here will give you information about that. This one is a linked article, so it gives you a brief synopsis of what the article is going to be about. And then it links you to the article, and it always gives you this little, do you want to leave the Gale website before it takes you to an outside page. Go back. So those are great for kind of learning more about different topics related to the specific topic within the fund category that you're looking at. Again, we've got magazines in here related to funding. These are great for kind of seeing current issues related to traditional funding or whichever type you're looking at for your business. And then directories are kind of like see also or related topics. So this may not be exactly on the same topic as traditional funding, but it's related to it in a way. Scroll down, you can see more and more resources on this. So if we go, so that is traditional funding. Most of us are aware of what those typically mean when we're talking about traditional funding and lending sources. So I want to mention, if we click on the heading of the database here, it brings us back to the homepage. I want to mostly talk about different types of funding. So you'll see here you have these 4 other options: angel investors and venture capital, government funding, self-funding loans, and grants. So many people may not be aware of what angel investors are or venture capital, but it's a really great option to consider when you are starting a small business or trying to grow your business. So if you click on, again, this top bar, it brings you to the information about this section. And you can see here a brief overview of what angel investors are. So they are people who come on board early on when you're starting a business, and they invest money, usually in return getting some kind of ownership or equity in that company. But it's something to consider. Venture capitalists are similar, but they may or may not come on board right away. They may come on later once you have a business or a product. So it's really good to know that, they are similar, but they're different in a way. And then if you go over here, you can find further information related to those specific topics. If you're really interested in angel investors, you can kind of find more resources about them, investigate further, and information such like that. So I'm just going to use my back button to go back here. Right. And then we will go through and look at some of these business plans. So business plans as related to angel investors and venture capitalists are not very extensive within this database, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean that you can't learn quite a bit from the three here. So if we click on this first one, Angel Investor Network, it's very unique in that it's proposing a business plan to create an angel investor network for $10 million. So whilst this is not being funded necessarily by an angel investor network, it's about creating one of those to fund other small businesses. If we go back here, we can see, I believe it's this one, the apparel manufacturer. So if we go through and read their executive summary, you'll see that they are being funded for $200,000 by an angel investor. So, and they may or may not list who that person is, but that is okay. You can get an idea of what kind of businesses those investors are looking for and see if that's something that may be an option for you.
All right, Emily, real quick,
Yes.
we had a question in the chat that I thought would benefit everyone. We were asked, is there a balance to consider between being thorough in your business plan and having too much or too lengthy of a business plan that might not get read? I think this is a great question.
Yes.
And it's one that unfortunately doesn't have a clear answer, because I think when it comes to your business, it is all about what you're creating your business plan for. Is the intent just for yourself to get your business started so you have some documentation plan that you can work on later? Then being too thorough may not be an issue. It's all going to depend on that, again, initial starting point that you have in creating your business plan. Now, if you're creating a business plan for funding, then generally the more thorough you are, the more you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, the better, because banks want to see that information. And I would say it's less of a concern about it being read so much as that's literally their job. They're going to peruse your information, and bureaucracy is their bread and butter. Now, again, we're not experts, and I would highly recommend that you set up a appointment with a SCORE mentor to go over more details of your business plan, because every business plan will be unique to your business and your information and your industry information.
Yes.
These
I
are
could not agree more. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's these are all examples in this database, and they're wonderful. But you may see that there's some common elements, and that is great, and you can certainly use them, but you can also write your own. This fall, we'll have 2 different sessions on a different type of business plans at the library called Lean Canvas. It's another business plan method that will be taught by Dallas Score. One will be with our monthly twos group, which is a networking group that meets up once a month. and the other will be a full hour-and-a-half workshop just specifically on this method for business plan creation. So great question. I hope it helps you a little bit, but thank you for sharing.
Yes, and that actually perfectly leans into the final topic I wanted to touch on, or subtopic, I should say, within the fund category. So we've looked at angel investors, which is very unique. We've looked at traditional loans, and now we've got self-funding. So we're talking about how long, how short should your business plan be. Again, that's really just up to you and how thorough you want to make your case for your business, because at the end of the day, that is what your business plan is for. But if you look at the few that we have in here for self-funding, so we have a dental office business plan. So you'll see this one, they've got their executive summary. If we scroll down here, we can see that the partners within the dental company are going to all invest combined wise $700,000 in the business. So they don't plan to take out funding from anywhere else. And then they've got their strategy, advertising. So this is very short of a business plan for something that is self-funded compared to if we scroll back here, please forgive me if you get a little dizzy going back here. So if we go back to our traditional source and we go to the bread and breakfast again, look how long this business plan is, comparatively speaking, for the case that they are making for why this bank should give them, I think, what was it, like $500 and some $1,000. So it's very thorough. So they really want to make their case that this bank should give them this money based on this very thorough business plan that they've come up with, compared to the self-funded one. Sorry, go back here. The self-funded one, which is stating that they're going to fund it. Just here's our plan. This is what our business is about. So it is, take that into consideration when you're considering how much, how little you are considering making your business plan. And again, please do, Caitlin, again, I will mention Caitlin and I are not experts in business. We are librarians, so we are just here to share information with you. For those expert opinions in business plans and how long, how short they should be, we recommend speaking with a business expert like the SCORE mentor. Now staying in the self-funding, I will mention there are a few interesting things that are talked about within this category. So if we click on the read more, so we think of self-funding, at least I do, as using your own personal funds, but then they also mention crowdfunding. So using something like, sorry about that, Kickstarter, GoFundMe, Indiegogo. So those sources where you post online that you're starting a business and try to get others to donate to the funds to develop that business. There's also bootstrapping, which is a type of self-funding where you pretty much cut down cost of your business to make it, to reduce your costs so that you have more money to spend and reinvest in that business. So just some really unique options. Oops, sorry about that. Don't know why I got that pop-up. All right, so going back into the self-funding, we've looked at the dental office, which is a true self-funded source. I'll mention here that, again, just depending on what you search, this business plans field, as well as any of these other resources mentioned, are all based on relevancy. So because self-funding includes crowdfunding, we have this very unique business plan here, which, kind of like the Angel Investment Network, is a business plan to develop a new crowdfunding website. So I find that to be very unique. If you go down here, you can see, related to this, what other subjects you might want to search if you're trying to start a similar business. This one has the great article breakdown, so you can just go straight to their market plan. Really like those features. All right. So any other questions related to funding before we go to our next and final topic? All right. So the final topic is manage, which is focused on businesses that are already existing and up and running. So it's different topics related to how to better manage your business, how to keep it running, how to expand it, further your growth, those types of topics. So a few I will mention are business financing. So we have the fund category, which is how you're funding your business, but how do you continue to finance your business going forward once it's existing? So business plans here related to it. We have, I think this may be the same pizza restaurant we looked at before. So we have the pizza restaurant here and their plans somewhere in here for how they are planning to continue to fund their business. Let's see. All right. So, all right. Well, I'm not sure sometimes why these ones pop up in here. But they do mention adding additional funds. Because they're talking about getting an SBA loan to add additional funds to convert the current business, a current business into a more profitable business and franchise it. So I promise I did look at these beforehand. There was a reason I show you them. So that is one example of that. And then over in the recommended readings, they have different resources on if you're interested more in accounting. So you started your business, it's good, it's up and running. How do you get your accounting in order? Related in here are different topics. So, balance sheets, very important for making sure that your business is successful and profitable. Cash transactions, how do you manage those for your business? Capital, so how do you continue to build growth in your business? Really good topics there. Mm-hmm. And then let's go back. All right, and then my favorite category, managing your employees. So these are all sorts of, we go to the read more, different types of HR issues. So they have different recommendations for employee management methods. So communication, trust, if your employees are off-site. Going back in here, we have, let's see, a valet service. So, thank you for this one. It has personnel. So if we click on personnel, and consider or keep in mind that what you think something may be called may not be called that in the business plan or the article you're reading. So I'm thinking of as employee management. They are just referring to as personnel. They mean the same thing when it comes to this article. So they are talking about their personnel management for it, projected staffing, salaries, and that. And going back here, a great article about difficult employees, something that unfortunately does come up, and how to handle that. And then I find this one very interesting. So this one's directories. So remember the related to type information, they have a bunch of consulting firms related to employee management. So if you are a small business, entrepreneur, you're managing your employees, but you do need some help, these are some options, not recommendations, just options for people in those fields of consulting. So you can see the consulting activities, what the groups are specialized in, the geographic areas that they serve. This one is nationwide, as well as their location and contact information. All right, and then one final thing I will show you before we wrap up the database demo is selling and marketing strategies. So if we go in here, we can see what this topic is more about. So this topic is going to include sales strategies, marketing forecast, marketing strategies, those types of topics you can see related to. So if you go through and click on those, it will bring up content related to that. And really good stuff. You can find business plans that express their marketing strategies. We do marketing and sales. We can see their plans for that. So you can get different ideas related to that. All right. Any questions related to this section? So if there are no other questions, just a few final thoughts, and then we will start wrapping up. Caitlin, please feel free to jump in at any time. So as you can see here on each of these topic pages, there's search within results. So those will, probably terrible topic. So those will search just within that specific category. So we are on selling and marketing your business. This is searching those results, that specific results page for topics related to what I just searched. The main top search bar up here will search everything in the database. And if we click advanced search, we have the option to narrow our search and make it more specific from the start. So if you are searching for landscaping businesses, I'm sorry, I cannot type when people are watching me.
I have the same issue.
So if we search, let's say landscapers, and then we are specifically interested only in landscapers in Texas, we can do landscapers. And so anytime you leave and in there, it's going to search for both of those. So it usually limits the amount of results you get. If we do or, it's going to look for landscapers or Texas. So it expands your results. And not, I don't use too frequently, it's to exclude different results. So if we do not, let's say Austin, we don't care about Austin. So if we search for that, it's going to look for Texas, excluding Austin, Texas, because we don't want to search there today. And we will see that there are 7 magazines and journals related to landscapers in Texas, not in Austin. All right. Any other questions? Sorry. Go ahead,
No,
Caitlin.
you're good. And just to say, you can include some of those in your direct search typing. Earlier, I did a searching of a business industry and an additional result. So you do not have to go to advanced search to use those features.
No. So if you search, let's say pizza and Dallas, you can do pizza and Dallas or pizza Dallas. It will give you results with both of those. You can also do pizza and Dallas. When you don't put any word in between, it usually treats it as an and.
Mm-hmm.
So it will look for those. So, oops, we can, interesting, a cigar company comes up. So you can see results for that. You'll see here if we do or, again, we get a completely different set of results.
Mm-hmm.
So it's trial and error. It's just kind of fun. Sometimes play around. I see we do have one question.
So earlier I did show how to access this. So if you go to the library page,
Yes.
planolibrary.org,
So I will,
and you go to hover
Right
over
there.
library in the upper menu, and then learn, and go to that top option for research and learn.
The website, we do apologize. It is very sensitive to the touch. So if you scroll down here and then business, over in business, it will take you, go down to Gale Entrepreneurship. And because, again, I am physically at the library, it just takes me straight there. Caitlin showed us earlier that if we are not at the library, it does show a sign-in, a sign-in box. But wonderful question. So, and this database is, again, through the Plano Public Library. If you do not have a Plano Public Library card and you do not qualify one, please do check with your local library to see if it's something you can access through them. If not, anyone is welcome to come to the Plano Public Library and with their own computer and use our Wi-Fi. And I do see a question about the recording. Yes, there will be a recording of today's session. It will be emailed out in a few days, as well as posted on the library's YouTube channel in a few days. So wonderful question. Any other questions or searches while we are still in the database that people would like to see?
If there aren't, we will share some other upcoming programs related to business from the library.
So give me one moment. I will get us back to that screen.
While she's doing that switch, we do have, as I mentioned earlier, a monthly group that meets up, and that is TUES, Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success. And it meets the fourth Tuesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. at Haggard Library. This month's topic is for business legal matters. So we would love for you to join us and learn more about different tools for your business and meet fellow business owners and network and have a great time. We also offer that weekly Dallas Score business mentoring. We do run that TUES program in partnership with Dallas Score, so you get access to both the resources and the experts in one room. And as I mentioned earlier, we are also offering business planning with Lean Canvas virtually on November 16th and in person at one of our two sessions, I believe the October session.
Yes. And in addition to those programs, we do have some additional library resources available to you. So if you have any questions that you would like specifically answered, we have our Book a Librarian service, which is a one-on-one in-person 30-minute session with a librarian at the Plano Public Library, where we can go over those specific issues you have. We also have our Ask a Librarian service, which is an email service where you can email a question to a librarian and we will answer you usually within 24 to 48 hours. Again, we have our wonderful Dallas Score mentors who work with the library to assist entrepreneurs and small business owners. Our library collection has several nonfiction books, if you go specifically into the 658s that are related to business plans and operating a business. The library's YouTube channel has many different recordings of previous virtual sessions that we have hosted, and this session will be posted on there as well as several other library databases in addition to the Gale Business Entrepreneurship database that may be of use for you. So those include LinkedIn Learning, Udemy. Both of those include tutorials with experts in the field where you can learn at your own pace. Gale Business, which is an additional business database, as well as Reference Solutions. And Caitlin, I don't know if you want to speak a few words on Reference Solutions.
Sure.
So you're the expert here.
Is one of my favorites, but it is a database that pulls company, demographic, consumer information all in one spot. So you can research industry information to a very niche level, for a local level by zip code, by geographic data, and really determine, okay, how many different electronic consulting firms are there in my area, and use that information to help determine, is there space for me in this current location? Or am I wanting to open a bakery? And is there a bakery in this area? And who would my audience be? What are other bakeries in the area earning? And how can I use their data to support my potential earnings? That information is actually available in Reference Solutions. So it's great for competitive analysis. It's great for determining potential consumer interest, doing map-based searches to compare your potential location against other local locations already there. And the information is both verified and unverified, but they make that very clear with a color coding system. So we will have a reference solutions class this fall specifically for market research in December, I believe, which is quite a wait. But if you're wanting to know more about reference solutions in the meantime, we do have a great recorded class, as well as you can make a book librarian session to work over something specific in that platform. While I'm still talking, I do want to address this question that came up in the chat for, do you need reserved time slots for the SCORE mentoring, or is it walk-in group session? So each SCORE mentoring session is individual. It is not walk-in, and your session is private. So when you have a business idea or business need, that is your private information. So you will not be made to share that with a larger group. Now, if you go to two, you're welcome to share your idea and get feedback from a larger group of like-minded individuals who have their own ideas. But with the mentoring service, there is a number that you can call or an email you can call to reach out to. Our contact is Don Walter. He is our designated SCORE mentor at the library. His information is in our brochure, as well as if you go to the website and select on any Thursday on our online calendar, they have that SCORE mentoring listed there, and they have that information available. See if I can find that number real quick for you to post or share. Emily, I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Yep, go for it.
Okay.
Probably the easiest way.
Thanks. Okay. So going back to my website, so back to the library website, if you go back to library and go to catalog, or not catalog, calendar, I can talk. Again, any Thursday on this calendar that's current. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down here, select 9 more. It's going to list everything on that day. And here you can see SCORE Business Mentoring. If you select any of those, it'll have, as I mentioned, Don Walter's information. So you can make an appointment by calling at this number, 214-987-9491, or simply emailing Don Walter at don.walter@scorevolunteer.org. Their organization is completely made of volunteers who are retired CEOs, basically, and they want to share their expertise with others starting a business so that they too can succeed. They are great people. Highly recommend Don. Don's great. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and if the Thursdays sessions don't work for you or you can't get in, you can contact Dallas SCORE directly, and they can pair you up and set up appointments for you to work with the SCORE mentor.
Mm-hmm. And I believe there was another question in the chat. Yes, the first 2 programs that were listed are in person, and the last one is virtual. But we have plenty of virtual programs scheduled and more that support businesses. And as Emily mentioned, a whole slew on our YouTube channel. We are well past time on this program, and we really appreciate you sticking with us and asking great questions and participating. When you exit out of this program today, there will be a survey that pops up in your browser. It would greatly help us out in our future planning of programs if you would take a moment and fill that out and let us know of any future program interests you have. Thank you so much for attending, and those are our emails on there. Feel free to reach out and let us know of any other questions you have. And with that, have a great day.
Thank you so much.